Hello and welcome to today's live streams. So today, let me just bring up the slides with what we're going to be doing today. So today, we're going to be exploring entrepreneurship in English language teaching. And obviously, we have our fellow teacher who's joining us as well, who is Mike from Mike's Home ESL. And I'd like you to give a huge round of applause, either virtually or in person, wherever you are, to Mike. So, hello, Mike, and welcome.
Hey, hi. Thank you, Martin. It's great to thank you so much for having me on the platform. That's really cool.
That's great. Well, you're very welcome, and thank you
And
ever so
I
much for
hope everyone
joining.
is fine.
Yes, exactly. And just before we
It's a
started the
great
live
pleasure.
stream, you mentioned that you were
Yep.
you've just got over the Chinese New Year. Did you do anything special for the Chinese New Year?
Exactly. Yeah, in the Chinese New Year, I always like to go back to my wife's hometown, which is near
Mhm.
Xi'an. I'm living in China, in Xi'an, which is for people who don't really know, it's Xi'an is famous for the Terracotta Army.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm living around there, and the Chinese New Year is quite something. And this year, I say, yeah, I'm gonna go to countryside, even if it's cold, doesn't matter. Just changing my mind, and then back on the road because we're back in school now since Friday. Of course, we came
Mhm.
back to school on a Saturday for teachers, and then a week after it was on a Friday for students. So,
Mm.
we've been in the classroom, we've been having fun for the first day, just chatting to each other with the kids. And then Monday, we're going to be starting the work.
Excellent. And we've had Eric from Etiquette who's just pulled up and said hello to both of us. And yeah,
Hey,
thank you for
Eric,
joining. Right. Well, I'm going to bring back
it's a cute,
our.
awesome channel.
Yes, it is. So if you're not there, you're not subscribed to Eric's channel, Etiquette, then go ahead and have a look at his channel.
For sure, everyone. Yeah.
Likewise, and also for Mike, if if you're not subscribed to Mike, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. And I was having a look at the stats today when I was compiling this presentation, and I'm blown away. You've got you're heading towards 650,000 subscribers. Is that right?
Yeah, but I'm the first to be surprised, to tell you the truth too. It's keep on rolling because for everybody who don't know me, I'm a French teacher now, but I started in China as an English teacher, and that was quite something. Mike Somiasel was born in 2017 and wasn't I didn't do the channel on purpose. That's quite of a
Mm,
story. I don't know if that might interest you because it's a bit long, but it's really something that's why Mike Somiasel is here pretty much. I
mm,
started this channel to make things short. I started this channel I had my YouTube channel is live since 2005, in fact.
mm,
So very beginning of YouTube. I used the YouTube because I wanted to. My mom wanted to. Hey, share me some videos from your
mm,
life in China because I arrived in China in 2001 and I decided to stay. Then I got married and then blah blah blah. Then she wanted to see what I was doing, family and all stuff. So sharing videos, it was really an
mm,
issue at that time because you had to use emails and
yeah,
send those big files through mails, and
mm,
that was expensive.
mm,
So I used YouTube. Very first time it was the trend, so I say, yeah, let's go post some videos. I was using it only for, sharing family stuff. I had no subscriber except my mom.
Mhm.
And then I started to share. I was a big fan of. You're gonna laugh, but that's true.
Yeah.
Of UFOs and all that paranormal
Mhm.
stuff. So I started to upload because my dad obviously saw a UFO when he was young in the garden of
Mhm.
his home. So it was something. Of course, my father is a teacher too, by the way, but not in language. He is a teacher in technology,
Mm.
so was really different. And then so I started in 2016. You had that Baby Shark.
Oh, yes.
I
Yep.
was working in a elementary school in China, and I just Baby Shark's song wasn't one of my favorite because the kids in the Chinese teacher were using this song all the time, and the kids were just sitting and they
Mm.
were like Baby Shark. Do, 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 do. At that time, Ping Fong had no action songs, so it's good.
Mhm.
When you are a teacher, I love that kids have doing actions when you're
Yeah.
singing. Make it
Very
active
kinesthetic.
so
Yep,
that the
yep,
kids can have fun.
yep.
Then exactly, and then they came up with a song with actions, and that's when I said, "All right." I started to do the action with them to teach them in class too. The Chinese English teacher was teaching them as well, and then
Mhm.
I say, "Yeah, all right. The kids are doing well. I'm going to show that to my mom." So I showed that to my mom. I posted a video on YouTube with a poor
Mhm.
quality phone
Yeah.
and then it went viral. After two
Wow.
months, I never checked my YouTube channel, and then after
Mm.
2 months, it was around 2 million views. So I was a kind of lucky guy, when a lot of people on YouTube are talking
Mhm.
about, how to get viral and all stuff. They say there's no way you are lucky, but I'm gonna tell you,
No.
yes, there are ways. When you do a videos that become viral and you didn't do on the purpose, it's
Mm.
so much trouble that people try to make viral videos but never get there.
Mm. Mm.
But when you want to do one and you never think it's going to be viral, it's coming viral because I think this video is very natural and it's
Mhm.
very real, like real people and kids having fun in class. So I had right away 10,000 K subscribers in like when I came back on my YouTube channel that I had like 15, 16K right away, 2 million
Wow.
views. And
Mm.
that's why I was like, what I should do then. And then
Yeah.
I start to learn uh, all the YouTube tricks like to on YouTube. I started to I never heard that word monetization
Yep.
before.
Yep.
That was a new word for me. Back in 2016. I was like, what the hell is that? Damn. So I had to figure it out everything, and they were always asking, "All right, what's next? What I'm gonna do
Mm.
next?" And that was the
Wow.
thing. So I started to sharing my experience online if it can help teachers because I
Mhm.
remember when I arrived in China in 2001, I had no jobs, and a French teacher was difficult to find a job like that. So I say, all right. My Chinese
Mhm.
friends were saying, Can you speak English? I say, yeah, no problem. English always saved me for my bachelor degree.
Mm.
I was in love with the language because of music.
Mhm.
I was a big fan of Michael Jackson till my 13. I went to Birmingham. I went to Plymouth. The first time I
Mm.
went to England, that was in 2000. No, I don't know. No, that was in not 2000. That was in when I was 11 years old. When I was 11 years old, first time I went to Great Britain, I had good time there. Always good memories. I went back 2 years after in Birmingham,
Mm.
and same. lot of good feelings there. So I always loved the language. As a French guy, people were looking at me, "Hey, bro,
Mm.
are you French?" It's always the old war between France and Britain. But me, I
Yeah.
don't care nothing to deal with what is today. That's the past. It
Mm.
has nothing to deal with me. And I love English music, British music, uh,
Mm.
um, but after that, so I started to listen to more. After Michael Jackson, I switched right away with Iron Maiden,
Yep, yep.
with Exploited, The Exploited,
Uh-huh.
best
Yep.
punk band ever in Britain. Ah man, yeah. So I'm someone who's very open in music. I'm someone who
Mm.
I love to make friends. I love to chat with people. So yeah,
Mm.
that Mike So ESL went like, I never looked for that. So I had to go
No.
forward and sharing my experience. In China, they throw when I arrived there, they just throw me in the classroom.
Mm.
I remember that was in a kindergarten that I used to go once a week,
Mhm.
and they throw me in the classroom, and the kids sewing me, they were crying right away. That was something. Then it's a story. So
Hopefully
I say,
tears
all
of
right,
joy.
let's share. Yeah. So I say I gotta. I don't want other teachers to feel the same because
Mm.
obviously when I was on YouTube, I wasn't much aware of channels to
Mm.
help you a lot with. Maybe the algorithm wasn't like it was today.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
it wouldn't bring me videos of people, especially ESL that were, yeah. And
Mm.
plus, I'm graduated in vocational master of business. So uh, I didn't really do education for that. So I've learned
Mm.
right in the classroom like this.
Mm.
And that's how I started. Then that baby shark thing make the channel growing up and up and up, and yeah, till today. So that's a great experience, and trying to go on sharing helpful stuff with uh,
Yeah.
with the YouTube channel. Now you get new technologies, AI and all stuff. So it's
Mm.
very important to keep up with the trend because
Mhm.
you got to face it. We're not going. AI is not going to be gone tomorrow. So
No.
we
No.
have to really. It's very. I have students in the classroom using laptops, so they use ChatGPT. I'm in
Mhm.
an international school now, uh,
Yeah.
so I'm teaching French and
Mhm.
and English to grade 7 and 8. So that's yeah, you got to keep up trying to help, and that's one of the most important thing. Teachers should help each other, finding solution, make it more fun in the classroom. Because
Mm.
I know from where I come from how it's not fun to have kids looking at you and feeling like, what is he doing? Where is he from?
Mm.
Where is it? Even kids
Yeah.
crying, looking at you. We all went there, right?
Yeah. We've all gone
We were
through
all
it, I
there once.
suppose, haven't we? Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, I want to draw over a question that someone's entered, and thank you to Mike who's asked this. What advice would you give a non-native English
Like,
teacher on overcoming imposter syndrome, moving into an independent ESL teaching establishment for a school, online, face to face? Yeah, for me, I'm a native English teacher. That's my bread and butter. But for you, as with French being your first language, what advice would you have someone else trying to break into a career with English language teaching with their first language not being English?
yes. Um, Well, these days, especially in China, I'm not aware of all different countries, but for what's in China, it seems to be more and more difficult for non-native to find jobs now. And for me, to when I started, I was very lucky to be where I am now. It's especially at this moment in 2001, a foreigner in
Hmm.
Xi'an. It was
Hmm.
very difficult to find. So that was pretty much like the first job I had was in university. I was teaching to university students English. These kids wouldn't say a word, but at that time it was pretty much like, yeah, you look like a foreigner. All right,
Hmm.
it's good. You can get the work. That was it. That was it.
Hmm.
They wouldn't care. Oh, do you get? Maybe they would ask me, do you have a bachelor degree? I think they never asked me that,
Hmm.
and they give me a working visa right away, and yeah. But now, I would say you have as a non-native, you got to go through those, having
Hmm.
uh, a TESOL certification. That's first thing, a bachelor degree, and then having experience already, because they ask usually 2 years minimum of experience. So that could be, yeah, that's something really important. Then if you don't have those 2 years of experience,
Hmm.
it's up to you to bring it up on the resume. I come
Hmm.
from a business. I remember my teacher in marketing. He gave us an example um, of one of his students who, on his resume, he lied on his resume that there's something you won't do, right? You don't like to do,
Hmm.
but he
Yeah.
did it and he got the job. And during the job, he was doing excellent. You know,
Hmm.
he was doing excellent. So sometimes, 1 or 2 years, it all depends when you really love.
Hmm.
It's difficult. I'm not agree with what I say too. It's not
Yeah.
things I like to say, but sometimes when you need the job, uh, you got to do everything to get it. And
True.
especially when you get a family behind you, I can understand people, sometime who do that. But yeah, for non-natives, I think it's experience is very important. Yeah,
Hmm.
experience, one of the most important thing. Diploma, of course, but in China,
Hmm.
it's always difficult. With the diploma, you got to make sure you get a good one, a good TESOL, and
Yeah.
yeah, will do. Yeah. So
Hmm. And
after that,
mhm.
can tell you more.
Sorry, I was going to interject and just say,
Okay.
Stuart from TEFL Lemon has a course, recognized course, accredited, and for those
Oh yeah,
non-native
level 4.
teachers, yeah, it's a possible course that they could pursue, particularly if they're keen and willing and want to gain that qualification. Um,
Exactly, because especially Stewart's course is he kept updating it, so
mm,
that's really awesome. We do lives together, and
mhm,
we learn. We still learn. Doing these lives is always awesome because I keep on learning. A teacher who doesn't learn is not a teacher who's evolving. I mean, there's no evolution, so you got to keep on learning. And doing these
yeah,
lives gave ideas for your own class and for people who are for the viewers, for the audience.
mhm,
It's very helpful, and I'm very glad to have to be on your platform today,
mhm,
because that's the spirit, helping each other. Very
yeah.
important.
Um, and just here, for anyone
And
who's
that's, yes.
interested, here's TEFL Lemon, of course. And if you click here, he's got his 180-hour TEFL online course. And I'll put a link in the chat for everybody who's looking. So there we are.
It's a level
Okay.
4, so which
Mhm.
which mean bachelor degree is level 6. So imagine
Mm.
that that's level 4. It's almost a bachelor degree in TESL.
Yes, yes. It
So
certainly
that's
holds its
really
weight, of course.
really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. I'm
and
going to bring in another question, if you don't mind, Mike. And
yeah,
it's really something that
all
you've
good, all good.
connected with before, which is like your YouTube channel and your experience with business and that side of things. But um, I'm curious how you transitioned from just being a teacher, an educator, to something which was more entrepreneurial.
That's true. Well, a lot of people when they look at my audience and say, "Hey, bro, a lot of people." It's not bro, but people are coming to. I have a lot of uh, how to call sponsors or
Mhm,
collaboration or even I forgot the name of those agents who wants to help you grow, who wants
mhm,
to help you make money out of my channel, of course, helping me getting more views, selling stuff, because really I'm only living on what I'm making on YouTube. um and I say right now it's keep on growing, and people, more and more people were asking me about courses. I had courses in the past, but I the a very important key is to be consistent in what you do, and always um, promote your course in different ways. So it takes quite a lot of time to do promotion like that. And frankly, I had courses, but never had the time to promote them, to show what was in it.
mhm,
And but now with what changed games is that AI, of course. When AI arrived in this education world, I started to go on it right away because I knew my students would go too. So I really have to pay attention on how my students use it. It's a wonderful tool, but it's a tool. So we got to
mhm,
know how to use it so that it aligns with education, right? It can be
mhm,
an awesome tool, like it can be really dangerous. So
mhm,
for me, as trying to do business with that, it helps me with my workflow, and helps me as well to um, maybe plan everything. Not
mhm,
my education plans, but more of what I do on my social media to mix it with my classes, obviously.
mhm,
With my classes, I use VHL Central, which is a platform where you that helps you control your what your kids doing.
mhm,
You don't need to use a book in your class. It has an ebook inside it. So whatever you're teaching, it's a platform with a lot of tools. So it's really awesome. You just put the book you're teaching into it, and
mhm,
you put your kids in it. It's gonna
mhm,
they work, of course, on your computer, on their computer. They do exercise on computer, and you can check everything when they started to do the work, if they did it or
mhm,
not. You can put the weight,
mhm,
formative, is it coursework?
mhm,
It's an American, I think it's from, yes, VHL Central. I think it may be from
mhm,
Canada too, because I'm teaching French, and most of our students are going to be going uh, to Canada or
Mhm.
America, so they have to learn a second language. And so I use this platform, which is really awesome. And as well, it doesn't have AI, it's just facilitate your work. Everything can be planned, and you don't need to follow, because my students are ESL students.
Mhm.
They speak English, but their English is not at the level. And then they have to learn French, and it's quite very difficult for them. So thanks, I can speak
Mhm.
Chinese. I use three languages when I teach, and really it's tough. But when you get used to it goes well. So this platform is really helpful. It helps you with the content, present you all the different activities you can give,
Mhm.
and it has videos. It has even it's fit for kids who would be at home. I started
Mhm.
to use it during COVID. The school asked me to use it, so I say, all right, let me see that. I had to. I say, do you guys have trainings? No, no, no. Okay, so I had to figure it out myself. But yeah, this platform is awesome. That's an example on how I can keep up with my workflow too. So for my
Mhm.
French course, I get this solution which helps me a lot and give me time as well to work on what I always wanted to do, is opening that ESL Teachers Home, that
Mm.
community where I always wanted to have this kind of, getting together.
Mm.
That's
Well,
the party
that was
man
gonna
that
be my
I was before.
mm. And that was gonna be my fourth question really about, can you tell me a bit more about ESL Teachers Home and the website, the tool that you've shared? So are you able to tell us a bit more? Because, I know you announced it and it's live now.
Yeah, it's live, and feel free to join because it's free. You get paywalls for
Mhm.
courses, and I'm looking forward to invite other teachers who have courses to promote the courses there, and for teachers who are interested for career development, so they can just go there, and
Mm.
try to create a community and help each other. Many times during lives like today, on YouTube with Stu, we have people coming in and say, "Oh, I need your help right away." People came coming completely freaking out and asking the question completely different from what we were talking about. But I always, like, when I see the message, I will for sure answer it. But even
Mhm.
if you give them your email and stuff, it's going to be difficult to keep up with them. So I always wanted to have that kind of place at home, still be a
Mhm.
home where you
Mhm.
feel good, where you feel help, where you feel supported, where you need, because teachers are need that, right? They need to be
Mm.
supported, they need to be help each other. I know how it is to feel lonely with so many questions in the head, and
Yeah.
remembering me in that kindergarten, had no idea
Mhm.
what to teach, and seeing that kids crying, that was a big suffer for me. So it's not
Mm.
much on the business side for doing that teacher's home that might a lot of people think of, but it would be the bunch of teachers that we are, and people who've been following us on the ESL live stream come to ESL Teachers Home and find feedbacks from that lives. Many people also are looking for replays, and they can't find it since the link is not dead when I give a link for the live. But I
Mhm.
can understand that it is difficult to find. Then everything will be there, and you get help all the time. I'm on it
Mhm.
pretty much all the time, trying to answer, trying to help people. And yeah, I hope a lot of teachers like you, Martin, could be joining as well, and
Sure.
sharing our ideas.
Mm,
And everyone has a different vision of teaching, and or
mhm,
different ways to teach. And sometimes, when it's learning together, learning with each other,
mhm.
and it's really very important to share and being
What
in a
what I've
community.
absolutely, and
So
the
that's
community,
yeah.
sorry, the community that you mentioned here, for me, when I first started teaching,
Okay.
I was working in South Korea, and basically I had to learn by myself. And one way for me to create a community was to undergo a course, which I did in South Korea. Then I returned back to the UK, and I was lost. I didn't have a community, and I felt like a small fish in a big pond, I suppose. And I ended up going on to Twitter, and then I discovered, wow, there's all these educators, all these teachers on Twitter, and or X as it's now known,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was my community. And it's great with technology nowadays that you can set up what you've set up here when it comes down to a community and fostering that community and having the ability for all your members and the community to share questions or queries, because without that you'll be kind of lost and isolated. And particularly if you're in a country where it's not your home country, you're feeling even more isolated because you feel a bit
Oh yeah,
lonely as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so what's good with this community? It's phone, it's mobile friendly, so you can
Mm.
use it everywhere. The logo, I asked my community on YouTube for the logo. I presented different logo and then different names as well, and they choose that. So it's a community for teachers made by teachers, right?
Mm.
And all the different you can see on the left, you have all the different spaces. Then
Mm.
you can start by welcome checklist. The welcome checklist is on the top, the green stuff. It's to help you understand more how this community
Mhm.
works right away. It's like a little course, but it takes like 2-3 minutes to know what you
Mhm.
can find in it and go right for what you want. And then you get say hello. For
Mhm.
everyone to introduce themselves, say a little bit of them, say
Mhm.
a little bit of yourself, right? Trying
Mhm.
to know everyone, right? And
Mm.
it's quite awesome. I open for a week now,
Mhm.
and we are almost 50 members. And I created as well a podcast, still in the view of teachers asking, all right, what was the podcast? What was the
Mm.
ESL live stream about?
Mm.
So people might don't want to spend. Yeah, that's the first one here. Blended
Mm.
learning, a ESL teacher talk,
Mhm.
which is a podcast that you can check on YouTube on the ESL live stream channel, not on Mike's Home ESL, because the ESL live stream channel, it's something that we do with Stu, and people always ask us for the replay. So I put it on another channel, and I added the teacher podcast talk, which is a resume of a live.
Mhm.
It's created by uh, you guys might know Notebook LM.
Notebook LM. I've not heard of it,
You
I'm
guys
afraid.
gotta check that out.
Mhm.
Yeah, you gotta check out all the sound. This podcast has been made with Notebook LM. I put it in the comments. Go check that. It can help you when you want to do podcast. So I make the live stream a podcast.
Mhm.
And the person that you can see, I said it's James and Emma, but they are AI avatars that I made
Hmm.
on Agen.
I
So I
see.
have a lot of tools to, and it's and this podcast is quite interesting. It's the first episode is going to go on. It's on Spotify too, and it's with that wonderful interview we had with Michael B. Horn about blended
Hmm.
learning, giving us a lot of little tips, and a lot of teachers were afraid of AI, and he was saying
Mm.
that it's not AI is never going to replace AI is never going to replace a teacher, but the teacher who's using it is going to replace you. So
Mm.
we got to work on it, at least having basics, because kids in the classroom, if you using technology in the classroom, if your kids have laptops, you really have to.
Mm.
Kids, they're on all the time, you know.
They
So
are.
it's when you learn a language, it's not AI who's going to teach you. You gotta be active and feel that human thing in it, right? I'm not a
Hmm.
I'm for blended learning, that which is mixing AI and traditional teaching. Very
Hmm.
important to go on with doing role play as a language teacher. Role play are very important, so
Hmm.
AI can help you create those role plays, giving you ideas. That's where you can
Hmm.
use it. But when it's time to perform, let your kids perform. And I got some stuff coming up as well about this a project that I did for my French class, not using AI, but using kind of another approach of practicing, because the students that we have in the classroom today, their behavior are changing. They are more
Hmm.
screen addict than we were. I'm from the 70s, right? We are from
Hmm.
the 70s, so we are
Yeah.
not that addicted to the screen. And
Hmm.
it's more of loving that traditional, loving that atmosphere in the classroom, feeling kids around you.
Hmm.
I'm human.
Yeah. We all
I'm a
are,
human
and
being, so I feel
yeah.
that atmosphere.
Right.
True,
Well,
true, exactly. That's for sure.
and I've got a question here. I suppose we could link it in with technology, and maybe with learners these days, and the screen time that they have, and whether they're addicted or not. But how would you balance your teaching and maybe running a business, or pursuing some your endeavors in business yourself? And if we're able to link it into education, how would you balance learners with their screen time alongside their traditional approaches to learning, or traditional approaches in the classroom?
Yeah, uh, I've been I've been trying, like I said, like blended learning, right? I'm
Mm.
trying new stuff in the class. I'm constantly, how to say, trying to make it more fun, engage students. That's what we are most of us worried about, that engagement in the classroom. And since they have a screen in front of them, well, when they have to listen to me, when there's a presentation, I will do a
Mhm.
presentation, um, and ask them to put their laptop down, to or turn them off, right? But that wouldn't work much too, because these kids, they would be looking at you. You got to understand that in an international school where kids are very wealthy, they pay a lot
Mhm.
of money per year. So this guy, they, yeah, they're a little bit spoiled. Not all of them, but a good part of them are really spoiled. And I got that
Mm.
money to leave 3, 4 lives. That's what some students told me. So I don't want to do the work. Sorry.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
your actions are quite limited as well, right?
Mhm.
You can go to the parents right away, but it doesn't work because they don't care, or they're businessmen, women, they're never here. But The thing is, so to find another way, I found out that on Kahoot, Kahoot is they are doing
Mm-hmm.
now is not only quizzes, it's not only
Mm-hmm.
multi choices. You can have slides. You can create slides, and they have another option when you're a paid member. When you're a pro, I forgot how they call that. I think it's gold teach. Well, I forgot. I think it's gold member. Well,
Mm-hmm.
when you get that, then you can uh, create all your uh, presentation using Kahoot, which is
Mm.
awesome because when you explain stuff, that's mostly when you get the engagement is when you teaching, when you're standing in front of them for good, uh, uh, they're not listening. But if
Mm.
you go on Kahoot and then you use slides, and then you explain the stuff, you can even switch your Kahoot if you want to explain in more deep stuff. But the Kahoot slide is really awesome. You can customize your Kahoot. You get the help of AI as well. But
Mm-hmm.
AI is gonna help you create slides that doesn't really. It's stuff are missing in it. Is not complete yet. But the idea is here because when you start Kahoot, when you say Kahoot to the kids, they're like, yeah, play. And
Yep.
then
Yep.
they
Then they
all
get their
enter.
phones out and start
Yeah, they
playing.
all. Yeah, well, phones are not allowed in our class, but they can use laptops. And then
Mhm.
I can see them when they use phones. I got eyes everywhere. I know that little trick. I always told them before being a teacher, I was a student like you guys, so I know your tricks. And then so I use this Kahoot. It's awesome because you have an option which is called lecture. So you
Mhm.
can stop everything. You can stop anytime. You remember when you use Kahoot, is going to switch your screen to the next part. Here
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
can control everything. So you're going to click next all the time, and it's going to so it's good because the kids enter at the beginning of the class, and I say you got to listen because after that, after the first explanation, uh, then you have a couple of questions, so they can lead a board competition.
Mhm.
They like.
Sorry, Mike. I
Out
think I've. Sorry,
uh,
I just lost you there briefly. Could you go back to the leaderboard and you were talking about why kids like the leaderboard. Sorry.
oh yeah. Yes, the leaderboard is really awesome because it keeps them, in the game. They like that competition, right?
Mhm.
They love it, and they even if they are grade 10, 11, or 12 in China, they still like that competition, and because they know as well that I can check with Kahoot. Really awesome. You get reports. When you check
Mhm.
the reports, it's personalized teaching pretty much. Everything, each student's their name, you can check what answers they didn't answer, or
Mhm.
where kids are having trouble understanding, so that and it recreates a Kahoot especially for difficult questions. It's automatic.
Mhm.
So that's really awesome. There are tools these days that I'm trying in a class, and kids, yeah, they 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 love it because I
Mhm.
can check the ones who are not listening, who are not doing anything, because it says no answer, no answer.
Mhm.
How many, like nine non-answer stuff, and So yeah, Kahoot slides is really awesome. I use this in the class, like I promoted as well on my channel. So that's, that's kind of linked. I test before I promote. That's one of my very important thing, and that's why yeah, Kahoot is really changing the game these days.
That's great
Really
to hear.
awesome.
Right. Well, I'm going to move on
Mhm.
because we're already 45 minutes into this
No
live
problem.
stream,
Yeah,
which is
time.
great.
Oh yeah,
um, I've
yeah.
got a question here,
I'm
which
like a grandpa and grandma. I can talk.
I'm going to skip this question, but I'll go to question 8 if that's okay. So I'm
Yeah.
curious, or maybe the audience here are also quite curious about what sort of skills are necessary beyond the teaching and everything that you learn in the classroom. Outside of that, what's important for entrepreneurial success? And I'll just wait for Mike to return back. um, Okay, right. Well, we'll have a look at question 8 in a moment. The skills beyond teaching, which are essential for entrepreneurial success, and as within the classroom, I suppose we have a variety of different skills that are necessary. And I think we got Mike back. Hi there, Mike. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know what
No,
happened.
that's all right. I'm just
Yeah.
curious what sort of skills are necessary beyond teaching that are essential in running a business or for entrepreneurial success, like the website that you've developed and, the ESL Teachers Home and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, but these skills really, I'm learning all these skills from YouTube channels. I like to check out some YouTube channels. Like um, for this community, I was checking on Pat Flynn, American, who's a podcaster. I always love podcasts, listening. It's a place where you share, where you can have interviews, and it's like we are having today. It's a live stream,
Mhm,
but it's a podcast too, and it's so I've been checking on Pat Flynn, and I've learned lot of things, learning by myself. Going on the internet,
mhm,
and I had experience with, I made mistakes, and
mhm.
I used to as well. I used to be on, what is it called, vidIQ. I was on
Oh,
TubeBuddy
yes.
as
Yep.
well to help me with my channel.
Mhm,
Yeah, and I changed to vidIQ because I thought it was really useless. TubeBuddy for me is different for,
mhm,
because my channel is really, you get educators and you get kids. So I have a lot of content made for kids, so that's the thing. It's difficult for stuff like this, like YouTube, TubeBuddy, or vidIQ.
mhm,
I stopped vidIQ too since ChatGPT came on,
mhm,
because they were using vidIQ was using AI inside
mhm,
its platform.
mm,
And I was comparing with ChatGPT. I found that ChatGPT was better. So
mm,
ChatGPT, for what I'm doing right now, helped me a lot in choosing what is most important to do first. I'm asking pretty much everything, planning. How to plan my workflow,
mhm,
within the goal to, keep on doing a good job in my class. And so the thing is always trying to mix this, using tools. I like to experience all kind of new innovative stuff. And that's why I created that course, Innovative um Approaches in ESL Teaching, where it's giving you insights on how to use new technology. It doesn't mean it's AI. No, new
Mhm.
technologies in the classroom, how to use them, and not only how, but why using them,
Mm.
which is the most important thing. Why using these techniques in the classroom today is a big deal, and then how you do that. Yeah, and
Mm.
uh, as well as it's planning is something very important. I've been messy for sure.
Mhm.
It's
Well,
difficult to keep up being constant
mhm.
as an entrepreneur, especially on social media, because social media are changing so much. With you get Instagram, you get
Mhm.
TikTok,
Yeah.
you got to work on a lot of platforms. They have different ways to
Mhm.
interact with your audience. So it's really, it takes really a lot of time. And today, AI, if you use it as a right tool, if you know how to ask stuff to AI, then yeah, it's gonna be good. It's a great. I don't want it to have a team. Because when you have a team, of course you're gonna give salary, but the thing is, you don't do. You feel like you're losing a bit of your control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with me, with education, it's really, really something important. You cannot. If I work with someone with an agent, I don't know what. If it's not my spirits, is not gonna work.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Got it.
that's a lot of stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, so some
Yeah, I was
good
checking as
ideas
well.
for skills.
Paul.
Yeah. We're going to go through
Mhm.
into question 10, if that's all right. Um, and I suppose a bit more about the AI that you mentioned, the sort of habits and routines that have helped, because that
Yeah,
consistency
that's
can be
that
quite
answer pretty much
challenging.
the question.
Yeah. So, we
That's it.
have
Yeah.
yeah, a bit of time left remaining, so I'm going to go through the comments if that's all right. But just a quick mention from one of my members who
Okay.
recently joined, so Mohammed Walid. So thank you for joining. Thanks for your support. And if anyone's interested in joining my channel or Mike's channel for that matter, feel free to go through to Mike's channel and join him there. But you can also join me on my channel and show your support here. But what I'm going to look at now for the next few minutes before we wrap up is viewer questions. So if there's anyone that's got any questions either for Mike or myself, then feel free to post them in the chat. We'll go through them, as many as we can, and we'll answer them as best as we can. So I'm just going through and scrolling. Yeah, we had Pavel who mentioned before. Good afternoon. Unusual watching live stream at noon now. I'm not sure. Maybe you could tell us a bit more about your live streams, Mike, and what sort of days and times you run them.
Yeah, sure. The ESL live stream, I usually host it with Stu, but Stu has been quite busy in his life these
Yeah.
days. So good. He had, but I'm going to have him on the phone very soon as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, he's doing great. A daddy again. So congratulations to him and
Mhm.
his wife. That's the best present that a woman can give to a man. And then, yeah, for sure, that's quite unusual. The ESL live stream is usually held every Sunday, 9 p.m. Beijing time, which would be around 2 p.m. in UK,
Mhm.
and 9 a.m. in the morning in South America. So yeah, we always try to invite teachers. Uh, Experts or even viewers from the ESL live stream to share experience. Everyone is really welcome in it, to try to help each other share new innovative teaching methods that can work in, the education is changing for sure with that AI. So discussions, talking about it is very important. And yes, Paul is one of the awesome teacher following us as well. He really share ideas, and that's awesome to have people who like to engage and share. Even if you don't like or like, sharing your ideas, your opinion is very important.
Absolutely. And we have another question from Paul here, Teacher Paul. You mentioned about Kahoot earlier on and about the leaderboard, and Paul here's a bit more interested. What else is in the list and related to the ranking and the students' motivation? So you were able to explain a little bit more?
Yeah, about the ranking is, the usual ranking, but they are also building when they finish the quiz. I forgot what is it called. The name. It's the Utopia Island, which is pretty much every time they finish a Kahoot, even if it goes into a kind of level. It kept every time I play with my students, I can use the island, Kahoot Island, which is gonna, more we play, more is gonna create an island with some rewards. So you can claim your rewards after doing the Kahoot, and then the island is going to grow with more and more, uh, more and more, how does that, rewards, and that's it. And then for teachers, the most important thing is to check their, excuse me, to check students' work, or how they answer to what questions. Everything is into that report section. You can check every student's answers, and where they can, and where they have problems, in fact. So, and then Kahoot is going to also see what questions most of the students have difficulties in understanding, so that Kahoot is going to generate a difficult question Kahoot. So you can explain what was wrong to the students, and then practice again. So that's is good for personalized learning, and find the problem right away the first day.
Yeah, it keeps them on their toes. Well, we have one final question from Super Teacher here. Can you share the ESL Central website, the Mike's ESL Teachers Home website? I've already put a link into the chat, so feel free to have a look there. I'm going to finish off there, if that's okay. We've got to near enough 10 minutes.
No problem.
So, sorry, 1 hour, not 10 minutes. But I'd like to say a huge thanks for you joining, Mike. It's been a pleasure for you to join and share your passion and your insight into entrepreneurial businesses within education, your experiences of technology, and
thank you. The pleasure was mine.
Thank you. Well, I hope you have a
there are a
wonderful
lot
weekend.
of things to say for sure.
So thank you, and also thank you to all the viewers who tuned in.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Take care, and love to all the viewers.
Thank you, everyone. That was
all
good.
Right. Take care. Yeah. Bye bye.
Cheers. See you again.